be a sacrifice, I want to make sure I've made at least 5 million kids happy, or they found some sort of answers or resolve in my life, regardless of the negative around my name, regardless of the bad things people say to me. If I'm gonna die or ever be a sacrifice, if I'm gonna die or ever be a sacrifice.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. As you heard in the video posted by the rapper Xxxtentacion, who was supposedly gunned down and lost his life, he actually was talking about the potential or the expectation as if something was going to happen to him. I mean, these normal things that people talk about, I mean, are you at home, the listener, do you ever, film yourself and say, hey, in the event that, something like that happens to me, let me just give you the rundown. I mean, it's amazing how these people are all surrounded by the same stuff, right? They're all surrounded by death. They're all surrounded by mysterious types of deaths, and they're all covered in the same symbolism, right? They all run in the same circles. Now, people don't seem to understand. They think that a lot of this stuff happens because somebody's trying to get out or somebody's trying to, out the brotherhood. That is not what happens. It's no different than in a Christian community between two Christians who don't like one another. People just don't think that way. But inside of the pyramid, inside of these secret societies, there's people that don't like each other. There's people who have conflict with each other over money, over power, over someone else having what they want. And this is another example of that. And they use one another, and they do these rituals to one another as what is known as blood sacrifice. So in this case, this rapper whose name is Xxxtentacion, which really just sounds like temptation, and XXX being 666, X, of course, being the symbol for the Antichrist, which I've covered many times. Here's a guy who goes around holding up the 666, doing the all-seeing eye symbolism all the time, right? And I'm going to get into the correlation, or I should say the correlation, the connection between him and Drake. Now, obviously, you can decide for yourself. Anything that any of us say on these things are just speculation. And that's what they are, because we don't know. We're not on the inside. But we do know that these people are all protected. They are technically above the law. The laws have been created to keep us in check. These people don't have to live or oblige to any laws. That goes for committing murder. That goes for anything involving children. None of it. Okay? They're above the law because the laws are there to protect them. The laws are here to keep us in check, to keep them protected, and of course to keep the spotlight on them as if they're great and wonderful people who are philanthropists. I mean, it's a really easy system to figure out if you think about how all these celebrities are philanthropists and great, amazing people, and they make it because of talent, and they have no flaws, and they do nothing wrong. I mean, it is all twisted. Everything's inverted. These people are sicker than anybody could possibly imagine. So one of the things about the death of this rapper Xxxtentacion, like I said, you can see him obviously with all the symbolism and things like that. You also can see in one of his music videos where he's doing, he's trying to make a statement, I suppose, about the obviously controlled race war that they've created, and you can see him, people hanging and all that stuff. Obviously, this wasn't with the current things that we've seen happen the last couple of weeks with Bourdain, with Kate Spade. Obviously, all of this stuff happens in threes. And this one here had a lot of predictive programming to it because this guy has been mentioning that he believes he was going to be. He's even posted comments saying that if anything does happen to him, is out of his own mouth saying that it's Drake, right? He's posted pictures of Drake, with pictures of men who look like Drake, hinting that about Drake's sexuality, something that I've covered many times. Him, Lil Wayne, all these guys who put on the persona being these big bad guys. People don't realize that everything's inverted. It's the opposite. These aren't ladies' men. Okay, these are boys. Okay, these are guys who enjoy the Hershey Highway. That's what these guys are. They're nothing but puppets, and they're nothing but a lot of them are sex kittens to these rich elite. And then themselves are obviously handlers and also, into that lifestyle with younger men. I mean, it's a sick cycle that never seems to end. But you can see in this one music video by Xxx here where he's actually, like I said, showing people hang. He's wearing the black and white Masonic colors as he is dangling here from the noose. Okay, and then of course just gets out of hand where he shows children doing that to himself. Just really sick stuff that all of these people are involved in. All of this, the hints and the stuff that they show constantly over and over, rubbing our faces. They're telling us things. They're showing us things. And that's from his video, Look at Me, which you can see for yourself if you want to take a look. Now, Triple X here, you could see him wearing, this mask, this Phantom of the Opera-like mask, which is black and white, right? Remember, they always wear masks. These people, they have dual identities, but here he's wearing the black and white Masonic duality mask. And all the other symbols and signs you see flashing in front of you that this guy has shown on the regular, as they say, over and over and over again, including, like I showed you, the quote that he had in his card. Now, Drake, a big fan of bagels, okay? Big fan of bagels. You can see who Drake is aligned with based on, that right there in itself. It should tell you all you need to know about him. And you can see also, the connections with him and his 666 symbols, his album with the the 666. I mean, and then you get people making excuses like it has something to do with his area code of where he's from, even though he's doing the 666 over his eye, because people don't want to believe that these celebrities are involved in this stuff. People don't want to believe that this stuff really goes on, but in reality it does. The world you live in, or you think you live in, the perception of what you see around you is all fake, okay? We live inside of what you can deem a matrix, or inside of a fake-controlled mirage. The things that you see in the movies are the things that really do go on. The stuff you see on the news is fiction. Everything is inverted. That is the philosophy of the occult, the philosophy of Satanists. Drake with the owl symbolism as well, right? So this is a guy that's flat out has a huge, feud with this guy. We know the power that Drake has, okay, in the music industry. He is one of the higher up guys now in the music industry. And again, they're always surrounded by death. All of these people, from Bruno Mars to Kanye West, right? All of them just seem, Jennifer Hudson, they all just seem to be surrounded by this stuff, and nobody blinks. They just go, oh, these poor people. Oh, but they're gonna move forward, and they're gonna be strong, and nothing's gonna happen. This stuff happens all the time around them, and it's amazing that people don't see it. And it's amazing people don't go, all right, this is getting suspicious, right? With all these guys, and this guy just gets gunned down, and here's a guy who has Team Satan and all this stuff. This guy, Triple X, admits to being a follower of Satan. I mean, is this stuff a coincidence? Is this stuff is anybody out there listening to what these people are even saying? He's talking about speaking to the devil in Miami and that everything would be fine. I mean, this is one of his song names, right? But remember, God and the devil aren't real, folks. Just everybody in Hollywood, everyone in the music industry just is constantly talking about it. And then the people listening are like, yeah, I'm an atheist. It's almost like it just goes in one ear, out the other. And they don't even realize that they're, the laws of the universal laws, these people are admitting all this stuff. They're showing you all this stuff and constantly saying it. And nobody says boo. This guy has an entire song talking about how he spoke to the devil. He said, my Lord, I spoke to a Baphomet. This is his lyrics, right? Is this the stuff that I'm constantly talking about, right? I mean, I just went through Bourdain. Did I not show you all the connections to Satanism and witchcraft from the people he was with and surrounded himself around, right? You had Argento posting about the Baphomet with the as above, so below, the Masonic symbolism, right? Admitting to being a witch. Here's a guy, I mean, if you the listener, you were going to write a song tomorrow. Do you have a song you're going to write about the devil? You had a conversation with the devil. You're going to talk about the Baphomet. You're going to talk about being a witch. No, you're not. Because these people, this is control. This is the bloodlines. They haven't gone away. All of these people who are in, they're all in on it. They are indoctrinating you. Okay? And then they have these beefs with one another, and things like this do happen, where somebody becomes a sacrifice for somebody else. That's how it works. But the problem is that people out there get all sympathetic about it, and they're like, no, he's my favorite. Instead of just going, okay, something's going on here. Why are they talking about, why does this guy have a song about the devil, and then he's talking about the Baphomet, the goat with breasts and a penis that these people worship? Talking about fangs, talking about bloodlust, cannibalism, all of this stuff, right? So Amazing to me, people don't see the connections, right? All of these people constantly surrounded by death. And you can make and speculate all you want. Was it this? Was it that? Was it part of a ritual? Okay? Look at it however you want. Investigate it however you want. What I'm telling you and showing you is that these are all of these people that just mysteriously die or mysteriously something happens to them like this are all connected to one another, and they're all always talking about the same stuff that I'm exposing. They're always talking about the Baphomet, being a witch, being a Satanist, talking about God and the devil, good versus evil, right? And that just goes over everybody's head. They miss out on that stuff. So this stuff does happen in threes. We just had two. You could say that some of the other people that went could have been a three, but this is a much bigger name, which makes more sense, right? And obviously they weren't going to have him do anything to himself, because he's been out there saying stuff about, something happening to him, and he's shown in videos the hangings. I mean, what are they going to do? Other than, they could have possibly said, oh, he OD'd or something like that, but it would have been more of the same stuff of people kind of questioning it. This time they're like, oh, it looks like somebody shot him down, and, oh, he was talking about Drake and all this stuff. Is it likely? I'm sure it is. Is anything going to come of it? No. You think Drake's going to get arrested? I mean, they've invested so much time and money into this guy being a brainwasher to the youth out there. They're not going to do anything. And this guy obviously shows who he's aligned with. He's aligned with the Bagels, right? With his OTO, his owl. Amazing to me. Amazing. Just another one, folks. It's another one, connected to Satanism, connected to the occult, and nobody's going to say boo. Instead, they're going to get caught up in the drama side of it, of who's responsible, and was it Drake, and this or that. When they're showing you right in front of their faces a connection, all of this stuff to Satanism, and these people are all Satanists. And if people would wake up to it, we could run these people out of town. We could rise up against this, because there's more of us than there are of them. But unfortunately, nobody seems to care, and this stuff just continues to happen right in front of our faces. So, Xxxtentacion, the latest to go. And you can obviously decide for yourself what you think that this is, but lots of weird things surrounding the guy, that's for sure. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.